Good night. Here, one time tonight. God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Irma Jill, Spirit Divine. I'm here to give you a little shout news on tonight. First, we're going to start with Queen Elizabeth. The world paid respect to Queen Elizabeth II. She died at 96 years old. So London Queen Elizabeth II, Britain longest reign, and one of the most endurable royal personality. She was a personality. You know, um, the world had known has died at the age of 96. So now the news of her death came after the palace officer issued a statement earlier in the day saying Elizabeth had been put under medical supervision. You know, at Balmoral as her doctor were concerned for her health. So all of the citizen members of the royal family quickly traveled to be by her side. So the Queen and the British people, along with the Commonwealth nation, have been celebrating a history milestone of 2022. Platinum Jubilee. So Queen Elizabeth, I mean, she lived a long time. It was a blessing, that she lived that long, 96 years old. 70 years on the throne. I mean, that was amazing. 70 years on the throne. But the Queen made only a few brief appearances at the event in her honor to mark the anniversary, in June, citing multiple issues and discomfort. Now health problems prompt her to cancel numbers of other plans in the recent months. So she started having health problems, and then she started canceling events and stuff like that. She started having health problems. But she lived a long life. 96 years old. That was a long life. But until late this summer, the Queen had remained an active person present in the public eye. Even though she had health issues, she still was active in the present, of the public life. She still was active. She had health issues. But I guess she didn't let that stop her. She kept on being active. Returning to the regular engagement just a few weeks after the death of her husband. And her husband, he lived a long time too. I think down the line, I think 99 years old. And they was together 70 years. That was a long time. So after the death of her husband, Prince Philip, in the spring of 2021, so he had just died last year. So Elizabeth wasn't born to be a queen. She wasn't really expected to be a queen. She only became the heir to the throne when she was 10 years old, 1936. Because her uncle Edward the sixth um, to marry American divorce Willie Simpson. So Elizabeth's father George the sixth, you know, took his place. So her father took the uncle place. So Elizabeth rapidly became a public figure. Everyone just fell in love with her. So during the World War II, the young Princess Elizabeth not only worked to raise the country's moral appearance to her fellow British, on public radio. She was a personality. So she was on a public radio to make the world of tomorrow also serve as a volunteer in the war effort. So she did some volunteer work. She also training as a mechanic. So she did pretty much a man job. So they got pretty much a lot of women know how to fix on cars and stuff. So she did training in the mechanic field. She was married to Philip. She was married to Philip up until his death. And she have four children, established a royalty line. So after her, one of her children, gonna take seat, and after that one, it just gonna go on with her children. So her marriage to Philip lasted 73 years. So it was 73 years until his death. And yeah, he was 99 years old, and he lived a long time. In the picture I saw, he still looked good too. And they both had some good genes. So Elizabeth came to the throne in February, 1952. So following the death of her father. So June of June June of the following years, was the first ever to be television. But behind the scene, the family she presided over had its problems. So behind the scene, so sometime in front of the scene, everything looked like it's perfect. It looked like ain't nothing going on, but she's saying behind the scene they had so many problems and stuff. So much problem behind the scene. You see stuff in front of the scene, everything looks so, perfect and put together. But she said there was a lot of problems. So real life seemed to be going up in flames. As symbolized by the fires that barely damaged the castle. So Elizabeth managed to ride out the horrible year. So she said it seemed like it was a horrible year. The castle in flames. Then she said behind the scene the family was having problems. It's like all of us we have a year like that. It seems like ain't nothing going right. Everything is going wrong. I'm quite sure we all have years and moments like that. Like that was a horrible year for me. That was a horrible month for me. So sometimes we have years or sometimes months. Everything just don't go right. So Elizabeth managed to ride out the horrible year. So after the castle fire and public complaint over the repairs costs that she agreed to pay the tax on her income. She paid for everything with her income. So she was a nice sweet lady. You know, the castle went up in flames. So the public complained over the repairs. So she just went on and paid it. So over her 7 decades on the throne, Elizabeth redefined the remarketing it for a less. So now it will fall to her oldest son. So the oldest son gonna come next, you know, and be the heir. The Princess Charles would go on with her children. So after the son died, the throne gonna keep on going on and on with her children, you know, to carry out the legacy of challenge the time ahead. So that's the story of Queen Elizabeth. She have a legacy to still be carried, and the children will be still be carrying that on. And right now the son is sitting in the throne seat for right now. As long as he is still here. Yeah, and it just gonna keep going on and on with her children carrying the legacy on. So she seemed like she was a wonderful lady. So it was the complaint about the castle flame up and how the repairs. So she just went on and fixed it herself. So she seemed like she was a wonderful sweet woman. So that was the story on Queen Elizabeth. So I have update on Earl. So Earl had failed to become a major hurricane as it moved away. So it moved away from below, so very low. So we have not yet seen our first major hurricane season yet. So nobody made no move yet. Now yesterday I said Earl was moving strong, but then he moved away. So that's fine. by me invest 95, which at one time was given 70% high, development, has been decreased to 10%. So we have dry air, wind shear have won out, and that appears to be the pattern for the next several days with dust over through other areas of NHC. The experts they will highlight everything and monitor everything. So this year continue to run below average with five named and two hurricanes. We talked about Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth, she died at 96 years old. Died at 96 years old. It seemed like she was a wonderful woman. And that's a long time to live. And she still looked good. She still looked good for 96 years old. And she was married up until her husband passed away last year, and he still looked good. He passed away. He departed at 99 years old. They have good genes. They had good genes. And so her throne, her throne will pass on to her children. And right now the sun is in the sea, and it will carry her legacy on. So that's the story of Queen Elizabeth, who passed away at 96 years old. And our children will carry her legacy on. And we just talked about the Hurricane Earl. It was strengthened yesterday, but now we see that it's passed on by. So now, they're still monitoring everything. So we still don't have no strong hurricane that gonna do landfall, which we're not looking for now. So we have the hurricane is still, sitting still. You got Earl passed by, so I will still keep on giving y'all the update on the storm. This hurricane season. We want to be prepared. Is y'all? I know I got some of my supplies today. You know, some of my supplies today. So, is y'all getting y'all supplies together for the hurricane? This hurricane season right here. Just a month. I mean, these hurricanes is just moving it, but you never know. Quickly, things will change. Things will change. Okay, I'm gonna go over the hurricane list. I had got some of mine today. You could just get a little stuff at a time. Because you never know how quickly these storms will turn around. So the checklist I have: one, emergency kit. You never know if you're gonna need a emergency kit. Two have two phones, so either a phone or a tablet, either a phone or a computer. Try to have two electronic, and make sure it's fully charged. So three, household batteries. Four, flashlight. Five, candles and matches. Now the candles not safe too much, so before you go to bed, you want to blow the candles out. So that's why I advise you to get to light that's that press on the wall. They run by batteries. The candle is good in case your batteries run out on your light, because that happened to me multiple times. And good, the candles come in handy, but the only thing before you go to bed, you have to blow that out. Six, a radio. So you can continue on listening to the weather. You know. Seven, a generator. A generator not safe, so you'll want to have that outside, away from the house. So eight, food and water. Like cold cuts, like sandwiches and tuna fish. And Vienna sausage. Stuff like that. You can eat without power. Nine, just like I had told you, to light that stick on, press on the wall. It run by batteries. So that'll be safe than the cows. It's just that you have to buy plenty of batteries to keep that going. So I'll give y'all the update on Earl. Earl had passed us by. So there's no threat. You know, and I'll just talk to y'all about Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth had passed away at 96 years old, and I just gave you the emergency hurricane checklist. So y'all want to start getting your own supplies together. And you never know how quickly these stones. It might be calm for right now, but you never know what gonna shake them up, and these stones just quickly, just start moving and just start falling down, making landfall. So we gonna keep on praying that it don't make a landfall. So that's all the show news I have for you today. Y'all have a blessed night, and I'll see y'all in the next video.